All right, welcome back, everybody. It is spreadsheet time. So, you may know from previous seasons that I like to keep track of my matches, what wins, what loses, track their status, so that I can get a little bit of a more impartial look at what I'm doing right, what I'm doing wrong, how I could be improving things. I started keeping track this season around a week ago, a little over a week ago. The third is when I started, so almost 10 days ago. And on that day, I went 8-4. You can see I started 1794. I finished at 1820 at rank 2565. So that's how I do it. I do start, finish, final rank, date. And the day after that, I went, or 2 days after that, I went 2-1. And then I went 9-6. I play until I fall out of G1, and then I play C3s. This was a really rough day. I went 9-6 and only climbed back into G1 right at the end. So makes it really, really hard to climb if you have to win 66% of your matches to go up +1 win. Then I went 1-0 a couple days ago, 2-2 today. So the italicized are G1 opponents. So I played 3 G1s today. I went 1-2 against them, and I really haven't played any other G1s in a while. So this is not a great look at exactly how my RTA season is going, but it kind of shows what I'm going to look for when I'm trying to climb the border, right? Over here are my units and their performance. So you can see wins, losses, total pick, win percentage, and then I color code from there. So my top 2 pick monsters, no surprise, are Yanhong and Han. They both have a win rate of 61%. I'll just keep picking them forever because 61% that's all you need. That's plenty. So we'll pick those. But we go to Masha and Dominic, my backup damage dealers, and Masha, my first pick, 66% win rate and 68% win rate. So whenever I go full damage, good things happen because this is a pretty aggressive comp that also has a lot of stats. Nana is the big disappointment for me. Like, Nana has the highest win rate of any elemental that I have, and so far this season is 4-7. So my thought on that is I'm probably picking Nana a little early, and the opponent is able to leave her in the match and counter her with probably AoE CC. So if I'm going to pick Nana, I should pick her a little bit later. I think a lot of the teams that work so well with Nana also come with something like a Ragdoll or a Tian Lang, or they play Riley or something like that. So my Nana pick needs to get better. I need to maybe not pick Nana as much, or pick her in different situations. I need to figure that out because she's ruined pretty well. So I need to make sure if I'm going to ruin her that well, then I'm going to use her and she's not going to be just trash. Miles, another kind of damage dealer of the Dominic vein, 61%, a little lower than Dominic and Masha, but still pretty good. And then you've got my top win rate units here, my top 3. Juno, 7-2. Oliver, 9-2. And Shizuka, 7-1. So all high win rates over 75%. Not played as much, so they're not in there doing the hard work of my core, but when I pick them, I can read the situation pretty well, is what I think, or it works really well. Shizuka, in particular, is not ruined very well at all, so for her to perform like that, I'm pretty happy. And then we've got a couple other units like Diana, Molly. Not as good. 60% for Molly, 57% for Diana. So probably instead of Diana, I should pick something else almost all the time. Any of these other damage dealers. Miles, Dominic, anybody. And then my Praha is 3-0. So whenever I pick Praha, it works out. Whenever I pick Moore, not so much. I've only won once with Moore, so I should not try to contest turn 1 with Moore. One thing that is really interesting in limited play is Verisa is at 3-1, which is not a huge sample size. But I would only really pick Verisa when I'm trying to race turn 1 with Han Verisa. And to me, this suggests that that's generally a good idea, especially when you look at Moore having a lot of losses and Verisa having a lot of wins. Maybe I should be a little more confident in Han Verisa stopping that turn 1 and then going from there, because Yanhong with a speed lead, if I get another speed lead, is pretty good. So that's kind of the stats. If we go look at the season so far, 64% win rate, but again, when I'm playing only high-end C3s, very few G1s. So that's taken with a grain of salt. And then here's the monsters. Excuse me. So Swift, Despair, excuse me. So 270, 274, 320, and this is like 299, so really quite fast. Triple Revenge, Despair, Revenge, which I think is pretty good for 280. Just to show you kind of where things are statted. And then there's the Oliver 263, but on Despair. Just like they did in SWC, and I'm like, why not? My Violent Runes are running low. 301, and there we go. So there we go, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll catch you in the next video.